Hi, everybody. I guess I'll start. Um, I am Frankie, and I grew up in a very strict, staunch religious background. The denomination is Pentecostal Friendly Holiness. A lot of times when I share that with people, they go, "Oh, I've never heard of that. I've heard of Pentecostal, I've heard of holiness, but I've never heard of Pentecostal Friendly Holiness." So I don't know if it's really that unique. Um, I also have some religious trauma from growing up in that way. Um, so I don't know. Maybe my family created a cult many generations ago, and it just fell into a religion. Unsure. But for now, um, I probably stepped away from being religious a little over 10 years ago, maybe longer. But definitely very spiritual. I am refer to myself more as Gnostic in the fact that I do believe that there is a God, and at the same time, I do not believe that there is one set religion that needs to be followed. I believe all of the religions kind of interplay and can be part of our lives, just Buddhism or um, Taoism, all of those type of things, Jewish. I'm also very connected to nature and those type of things. So I'm definitely more spiritual and dealing with religious trauma from the religion part of it. That's me.
Okay, and then I'll go ahead and go as well. My name is Kayla, and I grew up in a Christian Baptist household. Um, I would say I'm religious, but in certain areas, it does leave me with questions, as in, um, I didn't know until recently, like, being a Christian doesn't actually mean what I always thought. I kind of found out there's also like Christian Methodist and there's another one, but I don't know the name of it. And it's more open-minded to the LGBTQ community, and it just leaves you with more to think about, I guess. I do still believe in the my growing up being a Christian Baptist, but I have questioned things at certain times, but I do believe that there is like in the Holy Trinity of the Jesus, God, and the Holy Spirit. Um, I don't believe in, I guess, saints and like certain types of restrictions and communions, like Catholicism. Sorry, I can't pronounce it. But I do, and I'm always open to hearing people's different religions and experiences and being very open-minded. I would say I'm also spiritual, both in myself and earth earthwise, but also in my own religion because being a Christian Baptist, like you don't normally do certain things or it's considered witchcraft in some sorts. So um it just kind of leaves me with, I guess, like this boundary, and I wouldn't want to cause harm or think of harm on other people in a certain type of way because I do believe also like what you give out comes back to you as well. And it's just energy, like everything is energy as well. So that's me.
Hello, my name is Chloe. When I grew up, religion wasn't really something really big in my family, and it wasn't until I met the other side of my family when I was in first grade, and they were Jehovah Witnesses. So I was forced into being a Jehovah Witness for that whole school year, that summer, and it really turned me away from religion. And it isn't until now, I'm 20, that I'm trying to get into religion. I do believe in God, but I don't associate with religion. And when it does come to religion, it's not something that's too serious to me. I would say I am more spiritual also. And I agree with what you said, Frankie, how you believe in, like, there's different things out there. Like, you kind of believe in there's truth in everything, basically. And I do agree with that. I think there's truth to everything. And yeah.
So, so we just wanted to make sure that the interview part was in. Um, we have discussed about our questions that we would like to ask. We wanted to make sure that they were open-ended and were not directed directly at religion or at spirituality. I am going to be the interviewer. Kayla is going to be the interviewee. We're going to start with kind of just taking it as an interview with someone who is dealing with some stress due to scheduling and life. Just kind of fits the life of a student. So Kayla is going to make sure that everything that she shares is placed in a way that it is not directly personal. Even if it is, we're going to just pretend it's about someone else, and she's going to do her best to role play that way. Chloe is going to do an amazing job at observing and taking some notes so that we can learn from our strengths and from our weaknesses. Yeah. So, hi, Kayla. It's good to see you. How are you feeling today with your stress level?
Hello. I would say my stress level is at probably a 7.
Oh, that's pretty high. The last time that we talked, we kind of went through some of the assessments as far as like your work and things like that. Today, I'd like to kind of explore a different area with you. So, I'm just kind of curious, like, are you willing to tell me about any kind of beliefs or practices or maybe even cultural traditions that are like meaningful and important to you?
Um, for my cultural t traditions, I feel like that can go into a large portion. Only because the way I grew up, I was Mexican and I grew up in a Mexican majority area. So for me, being Mexican has also come with a little bit of pressure on the Catholic side, but also not at the same time. It's just kind of confusing at times, but it's doable. I do appreciate the whole quinceañera. It's called quinceañera. It's this 15-year-old celebration where you basically celebrate your birthday, and it's basically as a becoming of a woman. And um normally it's like growing into Catholicism, but my family has branched out into being Christianity. So the beliefs that we practice at home, including like the cultural background, I guess that was a little bit aspect of my cultural background, other than the menudo and all the foods that comes with that as well, would be just praying every night. That was also very adamant when we got home and showered and were kids, and it was always pray every night, pray for anything, grandma, grandpa. Don't just be praying for yourself, things for what you want. Like there is so many other people out there that um just have more needs than you think you need. I feel like you should be more being more grateful about the things you have, while other people struggle with things they don't even have, is a blessing within itself.
So it sounds like you've got a really strong tie to your Mexican traditions that are there, and that some of the spirituality and religion are also intertwined. Um, your relationship with prayer seems to be really important to you and meaningful to you. Um, can you tell me about how your faith or spirituality kind of helps you comfort or strengthen you in the times like that you're feeling stressed or
So for me, recently I've just been super stressed out, and I did it to myself. I put myself for so much things to do so that I can not only be more financially stable, but just not be so paycheck to paycheck. There's not really any other way I could put it, but for me, in this time of like worrisome and stress, I always find it so much more comfortable to just give it to God, is what my mom always told me. And it's basically just a symbolism of surrender and just knowing that everything is going to work out how it should. That's also a belief that I do believe spiritually as well, like as an individual that doesn't have to really tie to religion, but just um everything will end up working out in some type of way. Either way, it's the way you wanted it to go, the way it should have gone, or the way it's gonna go. Like, I believe that it's just a very broad aspect. You can't just really control your life in every point in time and everything you do. So that's very like comforting on my religion side, but also like on my own spiritual side to like just let go and just be okay with what I can do because I can't do everything. I'm just human. So, being, I guess, Christian does help me so much in the sense where I just feel so worrisome, and that release of surrender and just like letting go and feeling so connected and feeling like, hey, I got you in some type of way, in some type of spiritual way, like is like so freeing for me soul wise.
And so, if I'm hearing you correctly, kind of just knowing that there is a God that's bigger than you kind of helps strengthen you during those stressful times. And are there any other areas that, like your spirituality, might help, strengthen you during that time? Are there any activities or things that you participate in?
So I do hot works. It's called it's basically where you work out and you can do hot yoga or hot Pilates and gimmicks like that in a sauna. And so that's like very comfortable for me, as in having my own workout regimen where I'm not only physically treating myself, but I'm mentally like de-stressing myself, and it's just helping my overall health together. Um, I haven't really in this area gotten connected with a certain church. So although I do state myself as a Christian Baptist, I haven't really gone into more of the practices in this area because I just haven't gotten as connected with a community here. So that's kind of on pause in a way, but it's not that I'm a threat to it or I'm afraid to. It's just kind of I just have a lot going on right now, and I just hope and pray everything works out.
It seems like prayer is really important to you. Um, and I'm curious, does the prayer time also give you time of strengthening you in distressing times? Do you find that you can lean on prayer?
For me, I feel like since I was little, my prayer has always been very steadfast, like steadfast. It's just very quick, getting to the point, but it's only when it's like a group of more prayer or a prayer type of service that it's like where prayer has taken a long time. But for me as like individual only praying and me being only there, for me it's kind of just like a quick thing, but I also feel like because I haven't read my Bible as much or wrote certain things down or just even like had a journal, like to be spiritual with myself, like I haven't had the time to decompress as much.
Okay. So, with those religious beliefs and spiritual beliefs, how exactly do they influence your relationships or how decisions are made? Like, I know that you said you haven't found a community now you're connected with because of being busy. But how would your beliefs kind of lead you into making those type of decisions of what communities to get involved with, what groups to get involved in, or even the type of work or school you're attending?
So for me right now, I feel that you being a Christian, you can't work or you shouldn't work, quotation marks, you shouldn't work in certain environments because it has the influence of sin, or it's just where people will see you differently. There's also where I have encountered where people claim that they're this, like they're a certain type of way and so kind and Christian, but they are so biased, judgmental, um, just everything that is basically said a Christian shouldn't be. So I feel like being open-minded and treating everybody is the same is good. I feel like with my relationships, specifically like a romantic one, being a Christian, you're not supposed to have premarital sex. You're not supposed to do a lot of things. You're not supposed to read the Bible with your significant other. Um, the thing I do like is when you do get baptized or you decide to surrender, is that you get to choose it yourself in any point in time. You can be 5 years old, you can be 10 years old, you can be however old you are. So that's like, I feel like that's a very intelligent decision to make if you are like, how do I explain it? Old enough to understand. So not
Okay.
a lot of people are old enough to understand in certain things. So like, for example, I feel like if a baby is getting baptized by a church, that's not clinically correct because a baby can't make decisions yet, and they should have the right to choose whatever they want to do or be. So my relationships, the only ones that I could think of was the romantic aspect. I can also think of like the fatherly figure, for example, because the fatherly figure is like basically the head of the house. The man is supposed to be the head of the house. Like it doesn't initially mean that the woman can't make more or isn't as important. It just means that mothers are made to be caregivers, take care of children very well, provide for their husband, do certain, well, not provide for their husband, but provide certain things that husbands can't chemically do in their brain or comprehend. Meanwhile, fathers are there for the big part of the financial income. I don't know about today's time, but I think that's good to grow. Um, it's also just having like being male, you should be hardworking or be good in labor or construction, projects like that. So I guess that's also been adamant to me or prominent to me growing up that you should have a male figure where they are um cooperating to that kind of what's the word? I don't
The
want to say.
partnership?
Yeah, like I guess, yeah, partnership. I didn't want to say like sequence or scenario, but like, oh, dynamic. There you go. That's what I was trying to say, like the whole dynamic of it all. But yeah,
And so, with your spirituality bringing that type of understanding of what like marriage kind of looks like, do you find that those beliefs guide you into who you hang out with or how you release your stress at the end of your workday?
both of the answers are yes. I feel that for who I hang out with, that's probably the best thing to do in regards to to spirituality because I feel like I've had so many friends that are different religions, and I feel like it's very good to have friends that are different religions. Um, just to show like not even to show, just to be a community as all in one because nobody should be judging another's religion just because they grew up a different way or believe a certain type of way or they just want to be different. That is completely up to them. So I feel that in that aspect, in certain circumstances, I do gravitate more to the same of the religious beliefs, but I also look for values and morals, and I that could be very broad, and it just has to be disciplined, motivated, determined, driven, like all of the terms are kind of the same, but just have a certain type of drive to want to be better, to want to find a purpose, to want to not stay in one place.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing with me, Kayla.
Mhm.
So our interview went over a little 10, and I dug into the 3 questions that we had already agreed upon a little bit more to try to get some deeper information. So I'm going to turn off the recorder now.